started, and here we go.
Sunday. Welcome to episode 4 of Hanging with the Heakes. We are so excited for you guys joining us today. If you're here for the first time, please know that this is a podcast/vlog that we do every single Sunday. This week, we are so excited to have with us Jenny Hunter, the owner of the yoga movement Dallas, here with us today. And at some point throughout the episode, you're going to have your chance to win a $50 Up Inspired gift card. So be sure to listen to how to win. And let's go ahead and get started with our 30-second showdown. Jenny, how are you?
Yay, well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Of course, we're so excited.
Yeah.
So first, we're going to ask you 10 questions in under 30 seconds, hopefully, to get to know you a little bit better. So let's see what we can do.
Okay.
Where were you born?
Big Spring, Texas.
Okay. And what's the furthest that you've ever traveled?
Tokyo.
Okay. And your favorite food?
Tacos.
Me too. Vacation spot?
Good question. Favorite vacation spot? South of France.
Oh,
it's not bad there.
I bet. And your favorite restaurant?
My kitchen.
Right.
Okay.
Nothing like home cooking.
Right.
What's your favorite thing about Dallas?
Land of opportunity in
Very
the
true.
arts district right now.
Yes. So good for entrepreneurship too. And would you rather do indoor or outdoor yoga?
Indoor.
Yes.
All my toys.
And after a long day, would you rather Netflix and chill or have a drink with your girls?
Oh gosh, tough one. All of the above.
Both?
I love to connect, but after a long day, I'm probably going to hit that sofa.
Me too. And if you could have dinner with anybody dead or alive, who would it be?
Ooh, Audrey Hepburn.
That's one of my top 10. One of my top 10 for
sassy.
sure.
I
I
like
love it. And now that we know a little bit more about you, we're going to dig a little bit deeper into kind of your history, the background, and how the yoga movement came to be.
Sure.
So how did you get into yoga?
Oh, goodness. Well, let's see. When I was raising my kiddos, I have 3 kids, but when I was raising them, I had a small painting business just to keep my own sanity and get out of the house and keep those creative juices flowing. So one of the projects that I was on was like for large-scale muraling and consulting with a fitness center, actually, on their new color scheme under new ownership.
That's awesome.
And one of the perks, was to have access to the gym and everything that was there. I had not seen the inside of a gym in 20 years. So I met with some beefy trainer guy named probably Kyle or Kirk or something.
Right.
I don't know. He was tall. And explained to him, like, look, pal, I've had like 17 years worth of rheumatoid arthritis land in this body, and I just had my 3rd baby. So there are no muscles and there are no abs. So he's like, it's okay, we'll just assess and see what you've got. And he wanted to do push-ups and sit-ups, and I said, no, really, like they don't
seriously.
work. So anyway, I quickly fired him and had my eyes on the yoga room, which I kind of had a little bit of information about yoga, and I thought, hey, wait, maybe this is kind of a non-compressive, non-impact movement that I could dabble in. And so I had a great little teacher in there named Ramona who just kept saying, it's okay, you just try. I was 5 steps behind everybody else, but it didn't matter. She encouraged me, and then later actually encouraged me to investigate teaching, and that was about a year in.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, and I just kept having these amazing teachers and amazing opportunities. And even after that first practice, I had results in my body. I could feel circulation where I hadn't before, and things were coming slowly. Some days I would just cry, but I was always given an option and always encouraged.
And I think that's so important because in my
fantastic.
first yoga class, that's one thing I noticed is I was like, they always say check your ego at the door.
Oh, yeah.
And I did not want to like fall, look silly, but everybody was just like, don't worry about it. Like, do what you can. Like, no one expects you to go into a full split. Like, just truly take it day by day, class by class, session by session. And I've loved it ever since.
Exactly.
And what made you want to open your own studio?
Oh, I didn't. I resisted for a long time. The thought of overhead scared me. The thought of doing everything myself scared me. But I thought, why am I living in this fear, number one? And now that I've developed this community of people around me, and particularly, a partner who really saw a vision with me, even well before I met yoga or him, then I had this vision for a hub of the community where they could come and have resources for natural healing, for education, for a sense of community and connectedness, and just try to live life a little different than what was conventional. And so after looking at the space, I had actually a student that showed me this space, and I kept going by it on the Katy Trail, and I kept going by it, and I ran some numbers. I'm like, even at moderate levels, this makes sense. And then beyond that, offering what I felt was a little something different for Dallas made a lot of sense. And I couldn't step away from it. So I stepped full on in. And
just 100%.
100%. And it was several weeks to get to that point, but as soon as the city handed me a CO, I flipped a space and opened 2 weeks later.
That is amazing. That is amazing.
It was pretty wild. Welcome to your new life.
Right? And how does the yoga movement Dallas differ from other studios? Because Dallas, of course, is... As much as I love Dallas, we are a little bit hipster, so you'll see like a yoga studio on every corner. But as somebody who has gone to a couple of different studios, I've noticed that, the vibe definitely makes a difference, and the person running it makes a difference. So how do you kind of make sure that the yoga movement stands out against others?
Yeah, no problem. And, you have to kind of be brave if you're opening a yoga studio among other great yoga studios. And I wanted to be clear in the community that what I wanted to offer to the community was not yet being offered.
Right.
So I felt like there was an 80% of the population of regular professional folk that may not already feel comfortable approaching a yoga studio. They may have heard the benefits, but don't know how to get in, they don't feel comfortable already in their stretchy bits, but they still want a modern, applicable, quality practice offered with some fun and some integrity. So that's what I set out to do, is a community that was all positive. It was set up on helping people find solutions to the obstacles that they had. I had many. I mean, I mentioned the rheumatoid arthritis for about 17 years before I turned that corner. I had also had a severely broken leg, and yoga has put me back together more than once. So it's kind of my jam to help people find like a solution to whatever broken up body part or even kind of broken heart and broken mind stuff that they feel they've come with, and find another way.
Definitely. I mean, I struggle with endometriosis, and one of the things that I loved about yoga was there's some days where my body just feels so tired, or I'm so sore or inflamed, and just certain stretches or poses, or just the education that I've learned about things, what to eat, what not to eat. Yoga has made such a difference. And I will say the yoga movement Dallas is actually one of the few places that I felt comfortable going to, also because you're one of the few places that does offer beginners classes and education as well. So as you said.
Yeah. Well, I felt it was important to have a space where you actually learn yoga, not just do yoga. So I was, very particular in choosing really quality teachers that were dedicated to their method. They were dedicated to teaching. And I felt if they felt that they could offer what they knew in their body and in their practice unfiltered, then they would attract the people who needed what they had to offer. Right. So you support from that ground level, and then, you just hug them when they get there. Then it goes a long way.
And what are some of your most popular classes that you guys offer right now?
Good question. Again, I felt that anybody should have access to a method of yoga no matter what season they were in life. I already lived through my 80s, right? And I actually have clients in their 80s. So, and I wanted it to be able to be applicable to young, medium, old, and whatever. So our softer practices, the restorative, deep stretch, those quieter practices that are on the floor, I find are good for anybody. Beginners, experienced yogis. It just helps us to unravel our body, unravel our mind, and find midline again.
And I will say that restorative is also really good for people who, if you avoid the gym like the plague, but you still at the same time want to make sure that you're stretching and remaining your flexibility, things of that nature, it's really, really good for that as well.
Exactly. Healthy joint space, and yes, I can go on about all this. And then my Iyengar classes, really quite structured, and I teach a classical method where we take each pose individually, you break it down, so there's not this feeling of keeping up, but instead we use lots of props so that everybody feels that you can move either supported into a posture or use the props and the positions to deepen and move beyond. But it's all about finding your foundation and expanding from there. And then you go for the other end of the spectrum through the vinyasa and the moving practices, but mindful movement so that you're learning along the way. And then there's the adventurous souls who step into the acro yoga. And
I'm not there yet.
it's so fun. And that's all about connection and community and mutual support. And it's just a beautiful community. I love them dearly.
Will show my husband videos of acro yoga, and he's just like, absolutely not. Like, we are not breaking our necks together, like, within the first year of marriage. It's not happening.
Not at all. You have spots on scene, and they're the most important person on the scene. So we make sure everybody's happy and safe the whole time.
You heard it here first. For a safe place to go to acro yoga in Dallas, go to the yoga movement. And why should people practice yoga, in your opinion? What do you think?
Oh, goodness, Doreen. We're going to need an entire podcast for that. Well, goodness. Let me share a story. I'll say it's most realized through the students. Everyone has their own personal experience with yoga, and I don't think I can explain for myself why you should. I think it's usually best realized in your own self. But I had this one woman that I was working with, and she comes regularly, but she was away traveling with her family. And she got back from that, and she was like, oh yeah, I can feel that my body misses this and is stiff, and she was realizing some of the benefits, like my knees don't hurt anymore. That's weird. I'm sure of my step. She said, but the thing that surprised me that my family was realizing, they were like, we can't wait for you to go back to yoga. But it was my overall well-being, and that's what she recognized that was shifting. And that's why everybody needs yoga. Come for whatever reason you come for. It's fine. Maybe you want more flexibility. Maybe you want to calm the monkey mind. But the overall well-being is what we're after.
Definitely. I mean, I feel like yoga is such a true lifestyle practice in the sense that when I walk away each and every time, I feel so calm. And so, I mean, my husband notices a difference as soon as I get home when I've gone to yoga class and when I haven't, because he can see that, I either brought the day home with me or I've left it all behind. And so it's interesting to see how yoga has impacted my life and just the day-to-day as well.
Definitely.
And what community events do you guys have at the yoga movement?
Great question. We've got actually a community class every week. So on Wednesdays at 8:30, our up-and-coming teachers offer a class to the community for only $5. And so it's a variety of styles and methods. You can break a bunch of stuff down, but it truly has become that, a community. So and then also, actually a week from today, I'm offering a workshop called Live Well, and it's on yoga, on yoga, nutrition, and living a life of abundance.
Perfect.
So,
and that will be great. You guys can see it up on the screen.
So we have workshops throughout the year on a variety of topics, and this one I am dealing with people kind of going through autoimmune issues, broken up body parts, or chronic pain, chronic inflammation, anything like that, or just looking for another way of living. So I'll share the concepts that help bring me wellness, and then I feel that the concepts, instead of the how-to, help everyone. And then you can work on refining those points in your own life.
Perfect. I'm definitely excited about that.
Yeah.
And you guys can visit the Facebook page for the yoga movement to get more information on that, as well as their website if needed. And earlier this week, I did ask you viewers to send in some of the questions that you guys had for us. So let's get some of our top questions answered. Sure. What is a great stretch for a sore back, tight hamstrings, and possibly to gain core strength?
So everything. Got it.
Overall full body workout.
Actually, there's has a funny word, but I'll share the Sanskrit. But Supta Padangustasana, you have to say it.
Got it. I wrote it down.
Sure. But that just simply means reclined hand to big toe. And if your big toe is a long way away from your hand, you just throw a strapper on that foot instead. But laying on your back, stretching that leg straight up and out to the side. There's a whole series. If you come to class, I'll show you. Or hop online. But that actually, because Iyengar, which is my teacher, classifies those as abdominal poses. So not only are you getting the hamstrings and the hips open, that in turn plays into a healthy low back space. And then the abdominal control to practice those postures properly.
Perfect.
Yeah, helps tone the abdomen and the organs.
And I'm sure that's perfect for people who sit in an office all day, who might be in desk
Vital.
jobs,
You
things of
need
that
this.
nature.
Yeah.
Take notes.
So there you go. All three in one pose series.
Right?
Okay.
And how long does it typically take for you to see increased flexibility after you start these poses? Or let's say I've never done yoga before.
Oh, I have these questions all the time, and my question is show up. And it's a lifelong practice, right? And I think it matters more how you approach your practice and your body. So more about how you do it than what you do. And I had a wise young teacher used to tell me and tell his students, if you practice once a week, you're going to feel better after you practice. If you practice 2 to 3 times a week, you're going to really start to have a noticeable difference. If you practice 4 to 5 times a week, changes your life. See?
There you go.
There you go.
Whoa. So 4 to 5 times a week, of course, is key. Of course, do what you can, but we do want to see you guys out there 4 to 5 times a week if possible.
Sure. I started once a week. That's all I could break away from all 3 of those little nuggets at home.
Right.
And so I was making Friday 10:30 class.
No matter what.
No matter what. Exactly.
And can you practice yoga while pregnant?
Oh, you can, absolutely. Of course, check in with your doctor, but we do offer a class on Wednesdays at 10:30 in the morning, and Erica, who's really well trained in pre and postnatal yoga, teaches that class, and you could contact her for individual stuff too. But what I think is really great is she encourages you to bring that baby with you after you've had. Yeah, exactly. So you'll have mamas and dads in there with twins,
Right.
like the entire family came to yoga. But I love it, and that just gets the family really connected. Yeah. And as a mom to be, your body's going to feel so much better.
I bet.
Exactly.
I'm sure there's some sort of benefits with even giving birth and things of that nature.
Exactly.
So.
That's exactly where it was heading. So. Yeah, and then your mind and your breath are all prepared for the whole process of labor and after that sweet little thing gets here.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So pregnant mamas out there, don't be scared. You can still go to the Yoga Movement Dallas and check out classes. As she said, be sure to consult with your doctor and just make sure that everything's good to go.
And all of our classes, I would say, as said for maybe the faster paced ones, the vinyasa classes, the teachers are trained and knowing how to help you. So
Wonderful.
Yeah, no need to shy away.
And what advice would you give beginners? Which I know we've kind of touched on a little bit.
Get in your car or hop on a bird scooter and get to the studio. That's the hardest part.
Very true.
99% is showing up. You're going to be greeted with a hug because that's just how we do. And so once you show up, you're an automatic friend. If you come twice, you're family. We've already adopted you. No turning back. Good things ahead.
You might even get a Christmas present. You never know.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And before I forget, we do have the giveaway for the Up Inspired Kitchen gift card. Please be sure that you're following Hanging with the Heakes on Facebook or Instagram, as well as the Yoga Movement Dallas on Facebook or Instagram to be entered to win. And before we go, can we give people possibly some information on how to get more information on the studio, take classes, things of that nature?
Sure. So the website has everything, and that's www.yogamovementdallas.com. And you can find the schedule, the teachers, even the class descriptions if you're looking at which one that you want to step into first. But we offer a new student class pass in there that's just $5 a class. So for those first 10 classes, you've got 6 weeks to try anything and everything. You know, I hear often people say, oh, I went to yoga once, it wasn't for me. Well, how you know? You just went to one.
Right.
So give it another go. Maybe that one just wasn't a good fit for you. But try anything and everything. And then after that, a monthly membership is $112 a month, which is just all you can eat yoga. Really competitive price, yeah.
And that's a really, really competitive price.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
We want no excuses, right?
Right.
We just want to make it easy access for everyone.
Perfect. And what are the best days for beginners to drop in? Is there any specific day? Or?
Yes, all of them.
Okay.
Yeah. No, we really have arranged the schedule to where on any given day, there's an appropriate class for you to step into. Yeah.
So there really is no excuse.
No, that's my whole jam.
There really is no excuse,
We're
guys.
overcoming any and every obstacle that you think you have. I got an answer for you.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. And again, if you guys have not tried yoga, definitely check out the Yoga Movement Dallas. Possibly you've tried yoga before at another studio and didn't like it. I promise you the Yoga Movement Dallas will change your life. They are a wonderful studio, warm, welcoming, affordable, and I have no doubt that you guys will absolutely love it. And I thank you again for joining us.
Thank you.
Just so you guys know, we are on a break for the next 3 weeks, but we will see you guys next on 10/14.